G'day everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain and show you what the mods are doing when you're using them on your Cronus Zen. I'll be using the Taylordrift Pro Aim version 4.7.3 script in this example, and I'll be showing you what the Tailor Assist, the Sticky Aim, and Anti-Recoil mods are doing when you have them activated. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we can take a look at is the Tailor Assist. So have a look at it here. We've got three settings: radius, steps, and steady aim. Tailor Assist, first of all, is what's called a Rotational Aim Assist. This means it uses a circular motion to detect enemy hitboxes. The circular motion that it uses is called the radius, which you can see in the settings here. The higher you put that radius, the bigger the circle it does to detect those enemies, but it's also going to give you a lot more screen shake as well. So I'm going to leave the radius on 30. The steps is how fast it completes one radius, one circle. So what I'm going to do for this example, I'm just going to drop that down to 10. I'm not saying this is a good one to play on. I'm just using this for the video, for this example, to show you guys what's happening. I'll back out and I'll save that. Now you'll see what happens when I ADS. The right stick now does a circle. That's not me doing that. That's the Zen sending the controller input to my PC, that I'm actually doing that circle motion on the controller. Now, if we go back into the menu, we go back over to our steps and we turn these back up to 30. You'll notice that it now will complete that radius, complete that circle a lot quicker. You'll also see on that controller on the screen there how quick it's going. It might be going a bit too quick for that controller on screen to pick it up, but you can quite obviously see it's moving faster. And that's what the steps is changing. That's what the radius is changing. If I go back in and just, for the example, put the radius up to 60 and put the steps back down so you can see it do that circular motion a bit better. There you go. I mean, I'm obviously not recommending to use this. I'm just showing you guys what it's actually doing. So that's the Tailor Assist. There is also the other one in there as well, Steady Aim, but that doesn't change anything on the controller. It's not going to show you a different circle or anything like that. Steady Aim is meant to help you stop from over aiming and to try and help you stay on target. So it's not, you still have to do the majority of that aiming work, but it is going to help you a little bit. Experiment with putting it up, experiment with putting it down. I prefer to leave it on the default setting and just leaving it there. I don't really notice too much of a difference putting that up or down, personally. My main recommendation for Tailor Assist, especially for the radius, is to find a point where you're happy with the amount of screen shake. With that amount there, I'm happy with that. I can play with that. Some people might not be. I suggest turning the radius down a little bit. But you need to have some kind of screen shake there to know the aim assist is working. You just need to find the amount that you're comfortable to play on. And that's it for Tailor Assist. So let's move on to Sticky Aim. Sticky Aim is a aim assist mod that activates when you are shooting. So Tailor Assist activates once you aim down your sight. The Sticky Aim activates once you start shooting. Now, as the Tailor Assist uses a circular motion called the radius, Sticky Aim uses a diamond shape. Okay? Now, if we go into our Sticky Aim settings, the first one that we'll see is the sticky size. Size is also known as the strength. The higher you put this value, the stronger the aim assist will be when you're firing, but it's also going to give you more screen shake. The next thing is sticky time, and the time is just how quick it completes that sticky size shape, the diamond shape. So just like the steps in Tailor Assist changes how fast it does the circular motion, the time in Sticky Aim changes how fast it makes the diamond shape when you're shooting. Now, as we know, if you play on controller, there's already an in-game aim assist. That in-game aim assist is ever so slightly boosted when you are strafing, when you're moving left to right and shooting. So if you're aiming at your enemy, you're shooting at them, you're moving left to right like this, that aim assist is ever so slightly increased. Sticky Aim takes advantage of this by making your left stick move left to right rapidly. So you get that slight boost to your aim assist whenever you're shooting. It also moves the right stick in the diamond shape to help you stay on track, just like Tailor Assist does when you're aiming down your sight. So to get a better understanding of what's happening when you're actually shooting, I'll show you the example, and you can see on that controller there on the screen what's happening when you start shooting with Sticky Aim. So you can see there that the left stick is moving left to right, and you also have the right stick making that diamond shape. It might not be very obvious that it's a diamond shape, but that's the shape that it's making. And that's what the Sticky Aim is doing. Okay, so next, let's have a look at anti-recoil. We can see now that when I aim and shoot, I don't have any anti-recoil on. There's nothing really happening. You need to try and control that yourself, which you can do. If it is possible, you can hold down on the stick there. But depending on the weapon, depending how used to it you are, depending how good you are at the game, it can be a bit harder to control. With having anti-recoil on, we look at the most basic one, which is Legacy. I'll put it on a value of 30, just for the example. And we'll now see that when I shoot, the Zen will send a signal to my PC that I'm actually slightly holding the analog stick down to control that recoil. So aim, start shooting. And there you go. You can see straight away that as soon as you start to shoot, the analog stick comes down and holds in that position. Now, the higher you put that value, the vertical value, the stronger the signal it's going to send to your console or PC that you're pulling down on that analog stick to control the recoil. So for example, go back in, let's put this up to 50 just for the example. And we'll now see it'll pull down harder. It's obviously way too much for that weapon. However, you get the idea of what the anti-recoil is doing. So you need to set that up based on the recoil your weapon has. It's going to be different values for everybody, but this video is to mainly show what's actually happening when you activate these mods. Now, if we have a look at progressive anti-recoil instead, which is going to have a few more settings, we'll notice that it's still going to move the right stick around, but depending on what values you put, what settings you've got in here, the right stick's going to move a little bit differently. But I'll set this up just for an example. It might not be perfect, but let's give it a quick go. All right, so I've set that up. I've just realized I've set that up for when I usually have a scope on this weapon, so it's going to be way off, but it's going to give us an example of what the right stick's going to be doing or what the Zen's going to make the right stick do once you have progressive activated in the script. Instead of it just holding in the one position, we can see it slightly moving around. Now, the more we change the values in here, the more that's going to move around. So just to really see an example, let's just crank this all the way over here to something stupid. The recoil is going to be way off, but just to give us an idea of what's changing, when it changes, how it changes, I'm just going to, put these onto something silly, just for the example. Let's see what happens here. Ignore the way it shoots. Mainly look at the controller on the screen, the right stick, just to see what progressive's doing. Okay, that was a bit too bloody crazy. Maybe if I go back in, let's have a look here. Horizontal and yeah, that's what dragged us around. Put that one all the way up. Then what if I put this one all the way back down? Might give us a better example. Again, we're not focusing on what the recoil of the gun is doing, mainly focus on the controller, what that stick's doing, and what progressive is making it do, as that's what this video is about. Obviously, you can get your progressive settings to make that a laser beam. It's different for every weapon, but at least you now know what progressive anti-recoil is doing when you're shooting. Now, just to give you guys an example of what it does look like once it is set up, I know most people that are probably watching this video already have the script, already know what it looks like with the anti-recoil set up. There will be some people that don't though, so I'm just going to quickly show that. And also, again, look at the controller on the screen to notice what progressive anti-recoil is doing to control the recoil of the weapon once we're firing. And here we go. I know it's not pinpoint, but compare that to without anti-recoil, it's a massive improvement. Okay, so that's what each individual mod is doing with your controller. What I'm going to do now is set up a match with bots. I'm going to have progressive anti-recoil set up for this AMAX. I'm going to have the Taylor assist on, and I'm going to have the sticky aim on. I'm going to keep the controller on the screen there as well, so you can see what's happening once they're all activated. You'll also be able to see why they say the aim assist mods and the anti-recoil mods can and do interfere with each other. You can find a very nice mix between them all. However, if you prefer one to be stronger or one to be better than the other, it is best off to have only one on. So if you want the aim assist mods to be working at their full potential, it is best to use just the aim assist. If you prefer the anti-recoil to be working as best as it can, then you should just use the anti-recoil. Now, you can combine them. Most people play with anti-recoil and the aim assist mods. I play with that too if I'm on controller, but you just need to find the right values where they're not interfering with each other too much. But anyway, I'm going to get into a little private match now, put a few bots in here just to show you what that looks like. Yeah, I just aim and shot then, just to give you the example of how much it's going to follow, how much it's going to stick. It does a little bit. Again, you still need to do a lot of the work there. All I was doing then was aiming, shooting, and then moving around in a circle like this with my left stick. That little flick down there, that's all me flicking down. The problem is some people see some videos or see some examples where the person goes like this and actually moves onto the target like that and then shoots. And then they think that when you activate this mod and you start shooting, it's going to snap like that for you, when that's not the case. You still need to do the initial movement onto the target, and you still need to do the majority of the following as well. You might be thinking, well, what's the point of it then? You're just going to get more assistance than what you would normally get from the regular aim assist. As he was running towards me then, and it started moving down, that was the Taylor assist. Because he was already in my crosshairs and he's running towards me, the Taylor assist is already inside that hitbox. So when you're already inside, if they're running directly towards you on a slight sort of angle, that's when it's going to be the most powerful. That's when you sort of need to do a bit less work. But most of the time, again, you'll still need to do a lot of the aiming work. Oh no. Ooh. Change weapons to MP5 or something before this finishes.
Got a personal radar drone ready for escort. Changing mags.
I'm just going to try and show some hip fire examples as well.
I'm standing by.
It was a bit nuts. Okay, now I'm just going to throw in some examples here for the people that think that, mainly for the people that don't have a Cronus Zen and they assume so much about what it does. Anybody that tells you, oh, it locks on, it's like aimbot, don't listen to them, okay? They have no idea, okay? Let me just go and show you, if you are shit with your aiming, if you're hopeless, this isn't going to be much help for you, okay? There's no, it doesn't, you know, you need to move it onto the target. If they run straight into it, of course, they're gonna die whether you're using a Zen or not. If you see somebody like that, it's not automatically gonna snap over to them once you start shooting. That's not how it works. See, that was just me moving left and right. If the Zen really done as much as people thought it would have snapped onto one, it would have locked onto the other one. It quite simply just does not do that. So anyone that tells you that it does, cap. Okay, so that's everything that I wanted to cover for this video. I know it's not extremely in-depth, but it definitely should have given you a better understanding of what's actually happening when you're using these mods. A lot of people are just completely unaware that all it's doing, all the Zen is doing, is sending those controller inputs to your console or PC. I just wanted to make this video to clear some of that up and to give you guys that are using this script a better idea of what's actually happening. So instead of me repeating myself, I'm out of here. As questions, as usual, comments, message me on Discord, whatever you like to do. I'm out. See ya.